Okay, people, it's time for Hayley's comments here on Just for Sport. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. Hayley, I got some lines I want to try out on you based on the topics. I want to keep you entertained. I'm excited.
Oh man, I'm stoked. All right, let's get right into it then.
Okay.
Hopefully you have one for the NBA, the Heat Bucks matchup. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in your household during that game, during the last quarter. Please tell me how loud it got.
I was flipping out. My wife had to say, be quiet before you wake up the boys. Listen, I cannot stand a game that comes down to the referees. And my dad's a referee. I'm not going to tell you his name because I don't want anybody yelling at him for making bad calls. But it bothers me so much. And I felt, unfortunately, that Goran Dragic, there was no foul there on John. I just don't understand why you even called a foul there on the three-pointer. And then on the other side, with Jimmy Butler's last-second shot, I felt like Giannis kind of touched him at the end, but it was well after the shot. I mean, I feel like that there should be some judges that give you a degree of difficulty for being able to kind of not really touch the player and avoid them. Unless he touched his hand just as he released the ball, I just don't like that being called a foul. And I just felt like the refs affected the game, both games, last night way too much from Wednesday night. And one was a game 7, which was really crucial with the Rockets. And then obviously in this one, now the Bucks are down 2-0 to the Heat. There's no chance. I think the Bucks are done, Hayley. They're done.
And bad officiating 2020 across all sports.
All sports.
I gotta tell you, I went down a rabbit hole today. We got the US Open going on. I'm in Japan, so I'm rooting for Naomi Osaka. And I went down that rabbit hole watching that Serena matchup from 2018. And today I was just feeling it for the bad officiating across all sports. And then as I was getting ready to talk to you, I knew you'd have a good reaction, a salty reaction. Nothing more frustrating, especially if you had money on the game, right?
Yeah, especially. And I was kind of mad because I forgot to put my money down on Lou Dort to be the top scorer of the game. So, yeah, I messed that up.
All right, well, let's move right along. The Tampa Bay Bucks are having quite a time this offseason. They made a huge splash in free agency, signing a guy we've all heard of. We know Tom Brady's down there, and I'm wondering what kind of pull we think he has with other free agents. He has to be a big attraction because not only have they signed LaShawn McCoy this week, Leonard Fournette announced he's headed to Tampa Bay. If you're a free agent and you've maybe always wanted to play with one of the greatest, if not the greatest quarterback of all time, does Tampa Bay look like an appealing option on top of already having a fire offense?
Tampa Bay doesn't just look like an appealing option, Hayley. They are the Super Bowl favorites out of the NFC. It's amazing how any team that signed Tom Brady, you had to know that this is going to be what happened. And our good friend Casey Phillips is down there. I'm sure that she's in just heaven. You can check out the podcast I did with her right here on Just for Sport. But I mean, Tom Brady just attracts everybody. I mean, depending on what happens with the presidency, maybe whoever loses will go down there and work for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because everybody wants to be around Tom Brady. And he already said he already had the Making America Great Again hat. I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens there. But I tell you what, Tom Brady is just a magnet for the top stars. And I also think this is the first, like Bruce Arians is win now. He's an offensive genius. And I know he's at a point where he's like, hey, this is a win now situation. We may only have Tom Brady for this 1 year, so we have to make the most of it. Everybody wants to play with him. I'm sure with Tom, he didn't have that kind of, not so much control, but I'm sure he can go to Bruce and be like, hey, we could use this, we could use that. And then Bruce is just like, okay, with the general manager working together, okay. He wearing two hats, and he's just like, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. Bring everybody in to surround Brady with a quality offense, but then they need to make sure that they, have a solid defense too.
To say the least, I saw today, Tom Brady hasn't played with a top 10 pick since 2012. This year in Tampa Bay, he's got 2 of them. So
That's
how about
insane.
that?
That's awesome.
Line them up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I'm low-key happy for him. I mean, he's like
me
the
too.
cool kid in
Yeah,
in the cafeteria, and everyone wants to sit at his table. You can't
yeah,
blame them.
yeah.
All right,
Sign me with the Bucks. I'll be a water
Jamoke
boy.
Davis, free
Water
agent no
boy.
more. Okay, this is kind of football related. It's hugely football related, actually. And now that we're looking at, the football season in the fall, we all kind of have buffalo wings on our mind. I like plain buffalo. I like mild, but I like boneless wings, Jamoke.
Me too.
I'm very, very basic. You too? Okay,
Yeah.
not too spicy. Like to dip them in some ranch. Anyway, a Nebraska man is fighting the good fight. He went to court to fight chicken wing tyranny. I really don't know how to explain this in logical terms. His name is Andrew Christensen. He went off on his town council in Nebraska about restaurant menus listing boneless wings in the wings section. He claims and makes a really good but disturbing argument here that boneless wings are just chicken tenders. And what more do we need this year than to debunk the myth that you can just sit there and house wings and not have to deal with the little bones and eating around it? And it's so much more ladylike. I can dig into it with my fork and my knife and I can look cute eating wings, the boneless wings. But if I can't say that I'm eating wings, that kind of ruins it for me. I don't want to sit there eating spicy chicken tenders.
No, but you know what? As much as we're already talking about 2020 being a crazy year, I have to agree with them. They're not wings. They are little chicken nuggets for the most part. They're nuggets. That's what we're eating, our nuggets. But I love them. And the thing is, like, so I grew up a vegan. My dad's still a vegan. And it used to drive me, I will just laugh, not really drive me crazy, but we would have like fake chicken and beef, but we would call it, hey, do you want the chicken tonight or beef? It's like, it's not chicken, it's not beef. We have to come up with our own name for it.
Right.
Yeah, so I understand Anders. And then the thing is, when you sent me the video and I watched it, and the people are laughing at him, and then he gushes them like, no, stop. This is really serious. I'm like, no, it's not serious. This is not serious. But I agree.
Been thinking about all the foods that we've been mistaken about, but the wings are the most upsetting, probably. I mean,
And
there's
you
a
eat,
ton you can pick apart.
yeah, and time out. We need a ref here. Who eats their chicken tenders, wings, nuggets with a knife and fork?
Have you ever been on a date with a very handsome dude and you want to look pretty and you have your lipstick done and he takes you to Buffalo Wild Wings and so you have to look cute while you're slurping up ranch and having a
Okay.
sip of a beverage?
Well,
It's
Justin
just
Bohr
Jamoke,
never
it's
asked
part of
me
being a
out.
woman. I understand. I understand you don't know, but you gotta do it sometimes.
It's like I'm a big Seinfeld fan. I love watching the reruns. The Seinfeld episode when weren't they cutting the Snickers bar with the knife
Yeah.
and fork? I think that's what I felt like. That's where you are. But it's good. It's cool. It's cool. I understand. Justin,
I'll
there's
thank
no
you
chance
next time.
Justin's asking me out though.
Mm. No, you're pretty enough. You can get away with being a sloppy wing guy. Okay. Speaking of eating meat, Carol Baskin allegedly, no, not allegedly, but many people speculate
Mhm.
that she perhaps fed her first husband from Tiger King, fed her first husband to her tigers at
Mhm.
her animal sanctuary, right? So she's a legend on social media. She participated in Tiger King, the whole production, not knowing that she would become this folk legend and get this just weird buzz around her. T-shirts, memes, everything saying, I know Carol killed her husband. Well, she was upset about it. I think she tried to take legal action with her second husband, who hopefully learned a lesson or
A
two
lesson about
from
tigers.
that documentary.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? ABC is going to make a huge splash in their ratings this fall. Carol Baskin is going to be on the stage for Dancing with the Stars season 29 starting September 14th. My mind is blown, ABC.
I am really
Right.
excited. I'm really excited. I'm glad you brought this to my attention because I have a confession to make. I've never watched The Tiger King, and I was watching John Oliver one night, and there was this girl on TikTok who was wearing a leopard costume and dancing
Yeah,
to some
probably.
rap song that's had like Carol Baskin in it, and I think it had a Megan Thee Stallion soundtrack to it.
Killed her husband.
Right.
Whacked him.
Yeah, that
Fed
one.
him to the tigers.
I
For
thought that
snacks.
was the Tiger King. I thought she was part of the Tiger King. I was really confused. And some friends asked me to watch it. I tried to get through like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, what is this? I don't understand it. But I am excited that she's going to be on the show. And I've got a few questions for you. I don't know about half the cast, but can we start betting on them now? Like if I go to
I think
Props
so.
Network, right, I can find the best odds?
Call the powers that be. Get them up on the Props
We
Network
should do
website.
that.
They ought to be. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
But if there's a bubble, it'll be like your show, Love Island or Big Brother, because they'll have to have the whole cast together, right?
Yep. But you know who else is competing is Nelly, and he's my front runner because he's got the musical background. I feel like he has the rhythm, and that's so huge for dance. So he's my front runner of the entire cast. Everyone else is just kind of like reality star, like D-list celebrities at best.
Okay.
So I got Nelly, but like imagine
Nelly's on
Nelly.
the show. Does he still sell apple bottoms? Those jeans, right?
You know, I don't know where the market would be.
Well, maybe this might be the right opportunity for him
People
to
living in the underground.
get some jeans out there if he's going to be on national television on Dance with the Stars. Okay, I have some predictions for you. Well, first of all, Tyra Banks as the host, right? This is her first year as a host. She came to a show that I was a part of on WGN. We did a morning show, and my brother and my two youngest brothers happened to be visiting, and they couldn't speak. They were just like, "Oh my gosh, it's Tyra Banks." I got him to, he got to sit next to her. He wouldn't say anything and just was like floored. I still have the picture to this day where his hand is like on his cheek, like as she's trying to talk to him. It was the greatest time. So I'm a big Tyra Banks fan, but I have some predictions for the cast. NFL tight end Vernon Davis, he'll be great. Shout out to the DMV. I'm rooting for him. Catfish star Nev Schulman will not show up, right? It's Catfish, so he won't show up. Former Knicks Charles Oakley will fight whoever tries to eliminate him, right? Okay. The cheer coach Monica Aldama, she's going to get annoying real quick. Give me the boot, right? Give me the boot. That's what's going to happen to her. And I think figure skater Johnny Weir will win. He's going to have the best costume. He's going to get the biggest following. And he knows how to do moves. He can jump and hold people up in the air and all of that stuff. That's my take.
He has that baseline athleticism, too.
Yeah.
Okay, he might be my sleeper pick, but I'm still going with Nelly.
Okay, Nelly.
All right, so we'll be checking in as soon as the season premieres. We'll have to check in every week on Just
Nelly
for Sport.
Out of St. Louis. Okay, we'll check in with Just for Sport.
All right, next topic, kind of related to dancing because that's half of what people do on it. TikTok, Jamoke. This week, I think I've reached my personal breaking point as a TikTok viewer. I somehow stumbled onto trauma porn TikTok. Teenagers are holed up in their rooms reenacting traumatic events in history just for the traumatic details of it, not as a historical study. This is what teenagers are doing. It is bizarre. And I saw someone I knew in high school tweet, I really regret the poetry I wrote on MySpace. You're really going to regret the scenes that you're acting out and the dances you're doing on TikTok. Jamoke, I know you're all about TikTok. I am too. You get all your predictions up there. You're a great follow on TikTok. Little plug for you.
Thanks.
But Taj is old enough. Do you let him on TikTok?
No, I cannot. I feel like TikTok is crazy. The biggest issue, obviously, with the potential purchase by a U.S. company is their algorithm. And the algorithm is what bothers me the most. I want to see some of these crazy videos you're talking about, Hayley. But now all of the videos that come up on my feed are how-to videos about how to utilize your iPhone better and, buy stocks. Like, no, I want to see the other videos. And the algorithm keeps taking me to all of these how-to videos. And I feel like, does that make me like the older person on TikTok? Because they're like,
No,
yo, you're not cool enough to see that stuff.
you're on dad TikTok. I
Dad
somehow got
TikTok.
onto weird dramatic. It is a cesspool for drama. I see divorcee. Justin probably overhears me listening to TikTok, the divorcee drama, like getting so into it. But it's like a mini soap opera that you can follow in 60 seconds. I just don't want the kids on it reenacting traumatic scenes from history, but it blows my mind. I agree with you though, that algorithm, if it doesn't get sold, they gotta ask for the code. We have to
Yeah.
have our forensic people in the US analyze the entire app, all of the coding, and make sure that our info isn't getting sold. Because imagine your 12-year-old like sharing secrets like, I know where my mom hides her party
Yeah.
pills. And,
Yeah.
China's got a hold of it. What are we gonna
Yeah,
do?
I am amazed that TikTok has blown up as fast as it has. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's going to be sold for like $30 billion. It's out of
Yeah.
control. I don't even understand how it can make that much money. That's the part that still drives me like crazy when I think about these apps. Like, how's their valuation so high? And the thing is, like, I did read up on the TikTok that says the For You page is a heart of TikTok's appeal. It's a product that lets you scroll for hours and still find new and interesting content. I can't find new and interesting content. I keep getting the same thing over and over.
You got to look up some different hashtags. I'm going to start DMing you random videos so we
Okay.
can play with your
Okay.
algorithm.
Okay. I need it.
You might regret where you end up. It might
Also
get weird.
need some of those millions of dollars. So I'm going to develop an app. So you all look out for my app.
All right, get to it. I'll be your silent partner.
All
All
right.
right. Another weird incident in America 2020. I am a huge adrenaline person, Jamoke. I love the rush, horseback riding, extreme sports, hang gliding,
Wait,
heights.
pause. You said horseback riding?
You don't?
There's a rush with horseback riding?
Are you kidding me?
Really?
You're galloping down a hill on a huge horse that weighs
Okay.
10 times your weight. You really have no control. And you're flying. You're going faster than you can ever
Okay.
imagine.
You're right.
You're
I
telling
was
me
thinking.
horse racing isn't an extreme sport.
It is. I was probably thinking more of equestrian, but even then, I'm like, okay, you're
Oh,
crazy. You know
dressage,
nothing
no.
about horse. Yeah. Was it dressage? That's such a
Dressage
cool
is where
word.
you,
I should just
it
work that
is.
into everything I do today. I am getting dressaged.
Dressage, yes.
Okay.
That's the retirement home of the equestrian
Yeah.
community, though.
Okay.
It
Okay.
is an extreme sport. But, Jamoke, any adrenaline rush I'm cool with, but I was watching this video. I don't know how it's not a bigger deal on planet Earth because this guy's a psycho. David Blaine, he's a daredevil illusionist,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been at it for, I think, a couple decades now. He does these crazy stunts. And he's taken a couple years off because he has a young daughter. And he tried to electrocute himself wearing like a metal sheet of armor most recently. Anyway, so took some years off, decided he wanted to do something beautiful to inspire his daughter. So what does he do? He pretty much reenacts the scene from Up, where they get all the balloons, he floats off into the air. It would be one thing if he just kind of hovered with a big bouquet of balloons, but no.
Yeah.
He goes 3 miles into the atmosphere. It's this whole thing. I'm pretty sure YouTube was behind it, scientists, balloonists. I didn't know balloonists were a thing, but they
Or a
are.
thing. I didn't either.
So astrophysicists probably, pretty sure Department of Homeland Security probably has something to say. But Jamoke, I was shaking watching this video. I can't even imagine. He wasn't wearing a parachute. He
Yeah.
brought it up with him, and this was part of the deal. He put the parachute on while he was like ascending. So that's part of the process. You're like shaking, making sure he doesn't fall, because if he falls before he gets the parachute on, he's scrambled eggs. So then he finally gets the parachute on, and he's in communication. He has like this whole comms team. You would think he's like, on SEAL Team 6, dropping
Yeah.
in somewhere covert, but nope, just a man floating up on helium balloons, and then he drops down and takes a nice ride on the way down. I think the whole thing took about 2 hours, but here's what threw me. He said to his daughter, there was this ceremonial thing. The daughter's like 10. She attached the last balloon
Yeah.
to his little vessel to lift him up, and he said, I'm doing this for you. You inspired me. If those balloons pop, if he finds a hungry bird up there somewhere in the stratosphere, is that little girl going to be damaged for life because her dad took a very large tumble hoping to inspire her?
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt that that's traumatic to think that if something did happen to him, that she's responsible because he did it for her. I don't quite get that either. But I also don't, I thought David Blaine was a magician. Is he turned
He's
into
an
evil?
illusionist.
An illusionist?
Yes.
But there's no
That-
illusion about this. This is just you filling up a bunch of balloons and going in the air. You're not even evil. I mean, I guess you could say you're like the new version of Evel Knievel, a daredevil, right? That's what he is?
I guess so. I guess an illusionist is that. I mean, he like takes off holding the stack of balloons.
And this
But,
took 2 hours?
2 hours. Seeing how high he went, I was sitting on my couch just like, but thank God he made it. He's all right. I felt for his little girl, man. That
Yeah.
was tough to watch.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, doing a regular 9 to 5, okay, I'm doing this for you. Have a good day. I'm going to my desk, but not going in the air in balloons. I do like that you said the up part though, because that's the first thing that came to mind for me. And if you didn't say that he was inspired by Up 2, I was going to say he just stole it from a movie. Let's see something original. Do something you've never done before. Swim from the go swim down the English Channel or I don't know, something. Well, probably people have done that too. So that's not either, but something. Race a horse.
Race a horse. Keep your feet on the ground. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. But anyway, so that about killed me. Killed me.
I'm gonna have to watch the video again and see how many balloons I can put on like a stuffed animal and see how many balloons it'll take before one of my kids' stuffed animals go in the air. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Anything else, just leave it to NASA, please.
Okay, I will. I'm sure I'll get a phone call if it's way up in the air. Somebody will think it's a child, so that's probably not a good thing. I'll be sure to cut it. I'll be sure I'll cut the string before it gets like 2 feet off the ground. Then I'll just end it.
Yeah. Good call. All right, we have some bleak subject matter. 2020 just won't relent. This week was tough. We lost 3 icons across sports and show business. So Tom Seaver, the all-time greatest Met Hall of Famer in baseball, he passed away age 78, I believe.
75.
Chad Boseman, 75, forgive me. Intersecting with baseball, kind of, Chad Boseman, who played Jackie Robinson, passed away. Of course, Black Panther, Wakanda, a lot of the tributes to him that we saw were a nod to his role there.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Thompson, legendary coach of the Georgetown Hoyas, Jamoke. We can't take anymore. We can't.
No, I mean, it's amazing. I'm watching basketball and all of a sudden across the ticker it says that Tom Seaver's passed away. And it's just like another player, Tom Terrific. Like, it's just, and the sad but truthful thing of what we're also dealing with is we are in a day and age where everything is almost in the present. I don't even remember who passed away in June, in May, April. I'm sure there were other people, legends that passed away too, but living in the moment where we are now, we're talking about John Thompson, who in my mind, I wanted the silver Georgetown starter jacket when I was a kid. My dad was like, no. Our family, not like we were rich or anything, but our family, we live 3 blocks from John Thompson's house. And when I would walk to the park, I'd walk past his house. And it was, for me, it was like going past the White House or like Buckingham Palace. I would just look at the house the whole time, wondering if I'm going to see him look out the window and wave, or, come outside and be mowing his lawn. And I'd be like,
You ever see
oh,
him?
yeah, sacks up. I feel like maybe I saw him once, but to me, he was like Sasquatch. Like, you just never saw him. Probably because,
Legends.
yeah. And Tom Seaver, number 41, passed away. They call him the miracle member of the Miracle Mets. I don't, claim to know much about him or the Mets, but I just saw on social media the outpouring of everyone that was just sad. And a couple of people that I know that are Mets fans were like, man, this is tough.
He was the Mets in the 60s.
Yeah.
They dominated. I think they won 3 consecutive 3 in 4 years.
Wow.
3 titles in 4 years.
And the thing is that what else is amazing about him is, I feel like, back in the day, you pitched 7, 8 innings. Now you pitch 4.5, 5.5 innings, and then you're done. So he was, an icon and a legend in that aspect of it. And then to go from 42 to 41, go from number 41, the Mets, to 42, Jackie Robinson, played by Chadwick Boseman. That was sad too. And I was actually reading a book to my kid last night, and it was about Groot and the Avengers. And I got to that part where, it talked about the Black Panther, and I was like, oh man, I just didn't have the heart to tell him he's 5.
Oh, good.
I just said, I'm just not telling him. I'm just not telling
Yeah.
him. It's sad.
What they don't know won't hurt them. It truly is.
No.
But it's interesting to see what, I think it was his agent and his publicist talked about why he kept his prognosis secret for so long. And it's so inspiring how he just used his platform. People were saying he's just getting started. He was just getting started, trying to lift people up and fight for people who are fighting the same battle that he was. And we didn't even really know it.
Yeah.
So.
We didn't. And, at least for Tom Seaver and John Thompson, you pass away in your 70s, you still kind of, I imagine you feel like you lived a full life, even if, you want to go another 20 years. But to die at 43 and to not know, if I don't know, it's worth it making a PSA here, but please make sure you get tested for colon cancer, anything that you feel like, I always try to get a physical. I'm like, give me the full physical. I don't know what it is, but I want you to do everything to see if I'm okay.
All the tests.
And I'm not saying he didn't get all the tests, but obviously he didn't catch it until it was kind of too late to use have chemotherapy, get rid of it, unfortunately. And that's just sad. And oh gosh, yeah. That's
made a lot of
tough,
people
Hayley.
very happy and touched a lot of kids in particular, seeing that across Instagram and Twitter, all the kids doing the symbol.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Boy, that's a tough way to end Hayley's comments. But
I'm sorry. Let's pray for some good news for next week.
Let's end it with amazing. They were all amazing in their own right.
Yes, absolutely. 3 legends.
Thanks, Hayley.
Thanks,
Ciao
John.
for now.